Hey guys, this is Eliakim. So my peace-filled run through that I've been going through, it's kind of gotten a little bit slow, mostly because as a pacifist, you don't get to fight very much, and so I figured, for the YouTubes, I should probably make something a little bit um, more action-packed. So I'm going to start a new one as a robot faction. Now I have already started. I started a video and I made these guys called Meatbags Must Die. However, sadly, I found out something interesting that I actually didn't know. You cannot create a new template until you research that tech. So the population that you start with is actually the population that you will be initially using, which one of my 6-minute guides I think is actually wrong on that regards. I know it is one of the earlier traits, but what I'm going to do is instead of remaking these guys into the species that I want, I'm going to go with one that I think is going to be a little bit more informative and a little bit better for a tutorial style. Because these guys are a determined exterminator and these guys are a driven assimilator. And the difference is what do you do with the population? The driven assimilators will assimilate them and turn them into kind of like Borg from Star Trek, whereas the exterminators will up and just kill the population off. And there are advantages of both. But for my purposes, these are actually the better ones. Um, let's go over the things that are important about this. So if you watch my 6-minute guide, you'll know the important ones are this trait one and the let's see, the trait one and okay, sorry, I got thrown off by the cyborg species. So this trait, and then the governments and ethics. So let's go over the traits really quick. What I was looking for in this is that I want my initial population on my planet to be built very very quickly, so that I can more quickly send them to mine or to get energy or whatever I want them to do. Um, the faster I get these robots down, the faster that I get that 100 minerals back. Or for these guys got a minus 20% build cost. It's only 80 minerals. So I get that 80 minerals back faster, or whatever I'm getting. Maybe I get energy back for those minerals. But I build these robots a lot faster with this. So what I did is I made them so I build them faster and I build them cheaper. Now is a my negative traits. I don't care what people think about me. If they want to go to war with me, come get some. The resettlement. I'm not going to resettle these guys. Technically, later on, I might want to look into this because you can only build one robot. Now, if I colonize a new planet and I have 12 different planets and I move 12 population to that new planet, and then on each one of those 12 planets I'm able to build a new robot, I can build my population up quicker through doing that. However, that's going to be later, and hopefully by then I will have the technology that will let me make new chassis and actually make something that I might even do something where it's like what is it called? Resettlement cost minus 50%. I don't know, because later on your energy doesn't matter, but at the same time, plus 50% kind of, it's not good. So for my cyborg species, I made them intelligent. That's kind of surprising. I made them intelligent and have mining. I don't know why I did intelligent. That is kind of silly. I mean, I don't know, but we'll keep it there. Unity output might be good. Oh, that might actually be really good army damage. I don't know. But I made it again. I do not move my cyborg population. The only reason I like the cyborgs stay where they are. The population growth, I don't care if they grow at all. I'm more interested in this robot population. Okay. And in fact, the slower that they grow, the better off I am because the more robots I can get. Okay, so as expected, I have a machine intelligence. As I told you, I've got a driven assimilator. Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know you get society research for assimilating pops, but oh well. I also made this robot build speed plus 20% because you will be taking over planets. Some of those planets will have spots open, and building the robots and getting those pops out faster. That's why I kind of go like this is for this one I go robot build speed, whereas I go food when I'm building organics. So we're gonna save this one just in case I did accidentally change something. Um, Yay. Okay, so I went over this one in my previous video, so I've already got the settings set to that. I did not change much of anything. The Fallen Empires, I did set this to a random number between 2 and 4. Would rather have it 2 and 3 just as a little bit of I don't know how many are there. You want to have at least 2 for an event. If you without spoiling anything, you need 2 Fallen Empires to have this event. So same thing with Marauders. I'd rather not go with 2 to 4 or 1 to 3 especially. I'm not too sure about Marauders if it requires 2 for the event, but I know that the event that I did have, it two made it at least more interesting. I don't know if that would be but 2 is there, so I picked 2 Marauders. I normally crank my habitable worlds up a little bit, but 2 times should be good. Especially if you're playing an organic. I think it's a more entertaining game when you have more planets. It doesn't give you an innate bonus. I mean, everybody gets that many habitable worlds. So I like to crank it up just as it makes me feel. If you ever played Civilization, that kind of feels like you got more goody huts. It makes you feel better. So I like it. My crisis strength, I don't know if I pumped that up to 1.25 or if it starts there. Crises are kind of mad to me. I normally am beating them. This, however, is the big the big change. Now, the AI in Stellaris doesn't try to win the game. It's not trying to win the game whatsoever. It's just its goal is to get in your way. And it is the first hurdle that you have to jump over. Whether through diplomacy, through taking them over, blah blah blah. The second hurdle that you get is this mid-game start. The third hurdle is the end game start, and depending on how well you're doing, you need to refocus these hurdles to know if they should come earlier, or the earlier would be higher in this metaphor. So I brought mine back 25 years, and I brought back the end game start 50 years. Now, this isn't guaranteed to start here, but it's with like the farther away you go from the state, the more likely it is. Normally by about 75 years in is when I'm really starting to go. Can you like turn this all the way? Oh, you can only go to 25. In my opinion, these 2 sliders are a better difficulty slider than this difficulty. Now, I am doing Commodore, meaning that the first hurdle gets a little bit harder because they get a few more resources than what I do. And by doing scaling off, because like I said, the AI is your first hurdle, you don't want scaling. Scaling starts at 0 minerals and then goes up from there. I kind of wish you could do a scaling difficulty and a starting difficulty and an ending difficulty, because then I'd start at Commodore and then move up to like maybe Admiral, so that by late game, by about 75 years in, every single one of the, like if I start with scaling, by 75 years in, I would have nobody that could compete with me. Where if I started at Commodore and moved up to Admiral, there might be 1 or 2 that might still be reasonably comparative. Whereas, by late game, they'd be Admiral and they would continue to be competitive with me. I guess Admiral's 1 up. Yeah, Admiral's 1 up. Okay, so my normal AI aggressiveness, I mean, I could crank it up. It never really was a big deal to me. Sure, why don't I crank it up? Maybe they'll actually declare war on me instead of, getting demolished. And like, I don't care about the early wars are not as effective. You want to make sure that when you go to war that you're horribly overwhelming them before you go in. So it might bring me into wars I don't want to, even though I can probably still pull them off. Empire placement, I like random. I like not knowing where your nearby where your nearby neighbors are. I guess I could, the standard is I think clusters. But I like the randomness where you can kind of decide which direction you go in, and then you bump into each other. The one downside of this, the AI is not as aggressive in expanding as what you can be. Although I've seen them be aggressive too. So, I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot. Advanced neighbors definitely on. It just makes it a harder first fight, not that difficult. Now, I'm not sure if you can tell if I'm missing one or not, but there's the L gates that are in the newest expansion. I don't even know what they are. I just know they're called L gates. I the expansion came out around the same time as a bunch of other things I wanted to buy. Um, so going to my wife immediately afterwards and being like, "Can I buy this DLC?" I can't do that. So as soon as I work up enough honeydews, and get my wife into the right happiness level that I can be like, you're happy with me, can I buy this game? At that point I might get the expansion. It does sound like it's worth it. But going from not expansion, sorry, DLC, going from a major expansion to a DLC was a little too expensive for my tastes. So, yeah, moving into the game. Now, this is as far as I got into the last game when I realized I couldn't create a new template for my robots. I was kind of disappointed in that. And if you want to make a new template, it's right here. You go to here's this create template. Can you actually set their rights? What can you do on here? Undesirables. Oh my, I didn't know you could actually purge those guys. That's awesome. Um okay, so the rest of it, I guess, okay, so you can actually say I don't want these guys to be in my military service. I don't want them to be able to be colonized. And this, by the way, the colonization is really important if you want your AI to colonize. And in fact, I'm going to do that right now. It's going to forbid them because I don't want my AI to colonize planets using that. Let's see. That's actually tempting. Yeah, why don't I do that too? That's awesome. Okay, so this will make sure that my humanoids don't continue to expand. And then they don't actually, this doesn't actually matter. I don't even know why that's an option. So, okay. So going into my research, I'm gonna get that 5%. Research is rarely does research give you something for free. These fusion reactors, if you want to put them onto your fighters, cost you minerals or blah blah blah. So I don't want them early because I like my cheap Corvettes. I really like my cheap Corvettes. And I don't know about the efficiency of the minerals, but I would rather just buy. I mean, I can have 20 Corvettes, and I would rather lose a cheap Corvette than an expensive one. And I'd rather put those minerals towards. I can kind of tweak how many minerals I put towards fleet this way. But a flat 5% research speed, that's free. I don't have to put any minerals towards that. So I like that. Okay, this is actually a choice. Now I really like society, but one society, if you look at it, I get 3 science for 1 energy for my base science labs. For an upgraded science, I gain 33% more science for 50% more energy. That's inefficient, and I want nothing of it. So I kind of did this and it's kind of nice I'm doing this now because normally I might take this. However, an early game boost from 2 Unity, and you can only get one of these per planet. So it's planet wide 100% boost to your Unity for 100% more energy is a huge upgrade. Great upgrade. The defense army is only useful if you actually, and that's why I said, like, if you watch my video, society has a lot of these where it's just flat boosts, where it doesn't cost you 33% more minerals or 33% upgrade. It's just flat 33%. So society kind of has a bunch of those where it's kind of worth it. But I'm gonna do the network junctions, even though it's gonna cost or take me 10 years, and it might even take more than that depending on what I do with my homeworld. We'll go over that in a little bit. Again, this is I got both. Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. I got both of the scaling things off the bat. Mining junctions are not worth it. It produces one extra mineral for 50% more energy, and it costs you 90 minerals, meaning it takes you 90 months just to go even on minerals. Um, in early game, your smaller planets can't produce them, and unless you're glutting in minerals, which later you will. So later on, it's definitely worth it. But early game, it's not worth it early game. Even as much as I love minerals, it's not worth it early game. Again, this is an upgrade to ships, more expensive ships, not worth it early game. Flat boost to minerals, even 5%, which right now would give me like 0.15 minerals. It's still where 10 months I get a free mineral. Worth it. Cool. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, resource reproduction or reprocessor is very nice. However, we're gonna go here first. Okay, so I'm gonna look at my my tiles. I've got a good tile here, a good tile here, and a good tile here. I do want minerals instead of energy. So my colony ships cost me minerals. If you watch my pacifistic game, they cost energy, which is really nice. What I immediately want to do is create an overlord species. Remember that oh boy, that might have been a mistake. To be honest, I probably was a mistake not filling out. Do not do what I did. You do want your population to grow here naturally because it's a free population, and that was a mistake. I got excited about the idea that later game you probably don't want to do it. I don't know. That's a good question whether I want to do it or not. Okay, so either way, my construction ship, whether that was a mistake or not, this is a necessity build too. I want that mineral. Okay, so let me look at my the galaxy map. Outer ring is not as good because there's not the density of your stars is not as good. However, it is good in the way that you can build choke points. Now looking at this goes nowhere. This one does, so that's kind of more of a centrally located place. However, what I want to do is go here to here to here to here. And the way that you want to look at it is how much influence is it going to cost you to expand. This is a level 1 expansion, and then 1, 2, 3 is a level 2. I won't go too much into the boredom of why this one is more important. If you can think why this star is more important than either of these two, then you kind of get an idea of how influence spread works and why you would bank more on this one rather than on these two. So these two are the first ones I will go to, and then this one, and then because I'll be here, this one is obviously the second one. Based on what I find is what I will look at next. And the reason I'm going to do this is because a lot of times I want to queue up my because science ships are kind of boring to look at. Okay, so we're not in pre 2.0 where you actually take your military fleet and do things. Your military fleet's going to sit there and do nothing except look pretty. So I've got 200 energy and 30 minerals remaining. I don't have a whole lot for my science ships to do, so what I'm going to do is clear this one right here. And I am kicking myself for the species. At the moment I can, maybe I could, please let me allow you guys to, no population, nope, 2010, okay. Note to self in the next episode, or possibly one thereafter, I'm going to really want to set that back, and I'm kicking myself for doing that. I'm not going to reset for my stupidity. I've done that once already with the exterminators and not being it. I took something that was a game ruiner. I went in instead of what next? I want to go to the next speed. What does next do? Huh, I never knew that. I'm gonna go to faster speed just to get things going. So what I took for this was, you know how these things are robot build cost minus 20% and robot build speed is plus 20. Well, I did minus 20% speed and minus or in plus 20% cost. So they would cost 120 minerals each, which is a disaster. Yeah, cool. I got rid of that one. And I guess I didn't need to do that immediately. I hope this isn't as loud on yours as it is on mine. Um, it is. I'm gonna go in here real quick and change the volume. Stellaris, you get downed. So let me know in the comments if the volume's good. I'll be honest, I'm still new to this whole YouTube. I did Twitch a little bit, but I don't have a camera, so you know you can't see my rugged good looks. That 3 energy is not worth it. This 4 energy is. I can get 3 energy for 90 minerals, or I can get 4 energy for 100. I would much rather have the 100. I am gonna be I'm gonna be cautiously cautious towards my minerals initially, because I might want to make an early grab for a colony, and those cost 300 minerals. So yeah, I'm gonna the other thing I might want to do is a science ship, and I'm going to know this after looking at this second system. If I have a colony in that second system, I'm going to run after a colony ship. If I don't have one, then I will be running after another science ship, because I need to find that second colony. That second colony, ideally, I will have 3 to 4 colonies by the first 10 years. If you watch my pacifistic game, it looked like it was going in that direction, and then it all went south. It all went south. So I'm gonna actually upgrade this or speed it up a little bit because I'm kind of getting bored. Okay, so this will be built in 10 more months. No, what was built? Okay, so that I got more energy coming out. And there are no planets there, so I do want another science ship coming out immediately. I should have enough energy to... Actually, my energy is doing really well. I'm very impressed with my energy. This planet is crap. And not only that, but... Okay, so my initial pirates, if they come to this system, and then if they come from Balawar and then move to good system, they will be hitting my main system, which is great because that's where I can pump out corvettes. I can pump out corvettes from that system, and they can also hit my upgraded starport. So if they hit my starport, then it's a free win. Although, to be honest, by the time the pirates usually spawn, your initial start or your initial sorry, I still know these things as the frontier outpost. Your initial star bases will be able to pretty much take out them, especially if you're able to get your fleet there in support. Oh, yeah, okay, so this is what happens when I go too fast. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit because there are things that I want to make sure I get done. Oh my! So one thing that's nice about these drones is they get this +5 to research speed. But I like this survey speed plus 25%. It's huge initially. So I'm gonna want her. Actually, you know what? Sure, go help him survey that. That system actually looks like it's gonna be my initial expansion. So I'm gonna move my construction ship there. And when you do this move here, it will go to the star in preparation for building your first frontier outpost, or starport, or starbase, or yeah, it is a starbase outpost. Yeah, one thing is I'm really bad with terminology, and I'm hoping that by doing this I kind of help myself out, because I've always been bad at terminology. In being able in a field that requires terminology, that's a big deal. Now the nice thing is I work in a teaching field, so I don't need to I don't need to go up to my little kids and tell them that they're being, non-compliant, non-responsive, and we need to think of the best curriculum for this year, and in order to, and then insert teaching terms here. And if you didn't know, we do have a lot of teaching terms. So that way we can feel important, and we can also play bingo during our see, this I don't know my terms. When we're getting lectured, when as teachers we need to go in and learn how to be teachers. Um, you get very bored because half the time it's stuff for first year teachers. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, so we now have a very and hey, oh boy, I'm okay. Let me slow this down just a second, because I missed my building pop. I missed my network mining, and I do want both of those, and it's kind of worked out good because I do have enough for both at this point. Um, but these things will regain their money. This one will regain the money in 3 years. This one will regain its money hopefully pretty soon as well. Because I'm gonna move it over here, and I'm going to build another mining network. So at this point, because this is a 23, is a gorgeous planet. I don't know if I can habitat. I don't know if I can habitate. Colonize. Thank you very much. I can word. Um, I don't know if I can colonize a tomb world. I can't see why I can't. But now that I'm thinking about it, moving my cyborgs, or these my cyborgs over, would give me free pop spread, which is good. I mean, pop spread is always good. Now there are no minerals here, which was a huge disaster. Those 3 minerals are on the planet. Nope, they're on that one right there. So even though this one's a 23 and that one's an 18, remember 18 to 23 is not a big deal until later game, until I get a lot of population. And at that point, I mean, it's not going to matter if I went to one to the other. I may go here just to get that extra 3 minerals, as silly as that sounds. Now, the first thing I'm going to be doing is the first thing I'm going to do is build a colony ship, because it takes 12 months. In those 12 months, I can get enough minerals to build a I can to build the outpost. I'm sorry, my brain is not working. Now let's pause it right here. Actually, I'm just gonna keep it going for now. Oh, jeez. See, this is why it drives me nuts. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in expansion first, because it lets me develop my colonies faster. And as I'm going to have like 3 colonies, 2 bare minimum, 3, which is gorgeous. I can get them done 50% quicker, which means I can get population built 50% faster too. Now, I am going to hold off. My next population is going to come out in about 10 months. And that's about the time when I'm going to be needing to expand and work on my colony. Okay, so if you see this green means I can colonize this tomb world. Yay! Now this has got Betharian on it, and it's got oh my goodness, it's got a 3 society spot on it. So we're looking really good. See, these planets do look really good. And this has got 4 minerals. Please don't be there. Oh, sad. The 4 mineral spot is on a planet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pump out my first colony ship and head for this one right here, because this will help me with my mineral creep. And right now my mineral creep is trash, because no minerals, no minerals. Oh, speaking of which, move here. Not going to matter too much, but we'll head over in that direction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make an expansion down to this extensible software. And the reason for that is I plan on going wide. For you guys, I will conquer the galaxy. Oh boy. The reason I'm saying oh boy is this is a tertiary system, or a trinary system. Tertiary. God, I'm loving that word today. Trinary system, which will take a lot longer to explore. It's really entertaining to me, because my speech impediment, which is normally not an issue when I teach, and hasn't been an issue for years, kind of creeps its head out while I'm doing these videos. And I think a good portion of it is that I need to think of words quickly, and I need to use these terms that in my head, I think of a term. I think of, okay, it's a and I don't use the word ship. I use the idea of ship that goes. An idea travels to idea planet to idea put population. Like I think of machines and cyborgs and all those things are pretty much the same thing in my own head. Oh my, oh sweet heavens, boys, this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful run. Um, you will see why I play the game at normal speed and why I will be it's going to be wild. My micro is going to have to be wild because around 2220, this game is going to get very, very hectic unless I don't have neighbors. At which point it's going to be me trying to get as much influence as I can, and it will be better off because I'm going to be getting the signals relay pretty quickly. Um, but glorious. We have a 25, an 18, a 23, and a 22. And please be, oh yeah, we have an asteroid belt, which means I might be getting the minerals. The only thing that might slow me up at this point is getting enough minerals to build enough colony ships. I have 9 energy in reserve right here. With that 6 right there, it's easily enough to support a um enough to support 2 colony ships early game. So on that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed this start. This is a great start. I hope that you guys are getting something out of this, and I hope that you guys are going to enjoy this series a lot more. I do promise it will be a lot more action packed than the last one where we sat around and watched minerals come in, and cried over the lack of planets. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.